One of Warren Buffett's long-term business partners, Charlie Munger, said that making your first $100,000 is the absolute hardest to make. Why is it so tough to make your first $100,000? What are some of the reasons why people get stuck and don't make it to $100,000? That's exactly what we're going to cover in this quick video. Now, someone like Charlie Munger said that this is true, who has years of business experience, hundreds of different business investments that he's been a part of, and now has tons and tons of money. We should probably take this pretty seriously. So let's dive into some of the actual reasons why you get stuck trying to break through that first 100K in your bank. So the first reason why it's so hard to hit that first 100K in your bank is, number one, you've never done it before, right? And a lot of times when people think of the triple digits, it's just a number, but they see it as some insurmountable task, right? They see it as this massive mountain to think and accomplish, right? When the reality is millions and millions of people make over $100,000 a year and have more than six figures in their bank account. So it's not that it's impossible, it's just you don't know how to do it. And because you haven't done it before, there's self-doubts, there's limiting beliefs around, is it possible for me? And for years, no one had ever broken the 4-minute mile. So that people just assumed it wasn't possible. They thought it was physically impossible for a human to run the mile in less than 4 minutes. Until in 1954, Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile for the first time. And then guess what happened? As soon as Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, there was dozens of athletes that followed after, shortly after, breaking the 4-minute mile as well, right? Because he proved that it was possible, so many others were able to follow in his path. And that's exactly what you want to do with hitting your first six figures, your first 100K in the bank, is see that it's possible. Go and literally Google how many people made over 100K this year, right? And you will see that millions of people are making six figures. So you just need to acquire the skills you need to. That first thing is belief, because if you don't believe it's possible, you won't even try. And that's why so many people never even tried to beat the 4-minute mile, because they didn't think it was possible. So the first thing is beat that belief. Don't let the belief that this is some massive undertaking hold you back from actually hitting it. The second reason why it's so hard to hit your first 100,000 is because it's a very manual thing, right? When you're a business investor, you have tons of money, you have assets, you have income, all this stuff that you can deploy at your command. It makes it so much easier to make money because you have systems, you have employees, you have teams. But when you're first starting out, you're doing it manually, right? You have to process sales, you have to talk to people, you have to post content, whatever it is that your thing that you're using to hit your first six figures, you have to do all that manually. And it takes time, it takes effort. So it takes all this effort to build that up and get that momentum to actually have your first resource. You know, if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you don't have money to buy assets or things like that, you have to manually go out and do this work for the first time and actually kind of grind through that process of making it happen. So that's the second reason why it's so hard to hit your first 100K, is because you're doing it all yourself, right? You don't have leverage, you don't have systems, you don't have assets that you can deploy at your command to help it go faster. Third reason why it's so hard to hit your first six figures in the bank is because you're learning it for the first time, right? You haven't ever made six figures before, so you're going through the process of learning the skills for the first time, and you're hitting the potholes, right? You're making the mistakes, you're having the challenges that come up, and because you haven't developed the skills and the knowledge to be able to handle those yet, everything is the first time, and you're learning, right? Once you hit your first six figures, once you've done it, then you know what to avoid, right? You know what to do, you know what to not do. But when you're doing it for the first time, it takes so much effort, it takes so much learning and mistakes and headaches, and there's all this stress and emotion in doing it because it's brand new. So those are the three reasons why it's so hard to hit your first six figures in the bank. But the good news is, once you hit that, now you have the skills, now you have the knowledge you can always fall back on. Right? You know you can always go back to that. You can continue to do that process because you've done it before and you know that it works. And B, you actually can take that money and you can deploy it to start working for you. Whether that's in an asset, investing to be able to make your money make you more money, or whether that's taking that money and investing in a system and building a business to go out there and hire people, right? To build systems, to get strategies and put everything together and make a machine that can spoon out more money, right? So there's multiple different ways that you can use this resource, these skills that you've built once you've actually created them. But until you create it, it's so hard, right? Because you don't have the resources, you don't have the tools, you don't have anything that you can actually build with. So if you're not at your first 100K yet, then that's exactly what you need to do, right? Not only hit the 100K, but actually have $100,000 or more in your bank account to go and deploy, right? So to hit your first six figures in the bank, you might have to make 130K or 150 or 200, depending on your expenses and taxes, etc. Once you hit that first six figures in the bank, now you can buy assets, real estate, crypto, things that bring in passive income. Or if you want to be in business for yourself, you can take that money, invest in building your own business system, and now bring in other people to be able to help build your assets, your wealth, and be able to build that for the long term. So these have been some of the reasons why it's the absolute hardest to hit your first six figures, and some of the things that you can do about it to actually shortcut that process for yourself. So if you're not at the six-figure mark that you want to be, having 100K in the bank, then this should give you some vision, some clarity of what you need to go out and do to actually achieve that for yourself so that you can build that long-term freedom that you want. So if you haven't hit the six-figure mark yet, don't go out and try to buy real estate. Don't try to go out and buy crypto or flip houses or do any craziness. Focus on what skills do I need, what vehicle do I need to actually build my income, to build my foundation of my first six figures, and then take that money and deploy that. But until you hit that first six-figure mark, you want to focus on cracking that nut, because that's going to be your biggest challenge. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys got a ton of value from this. My name is Sam Martin. If you want to learn more about what we do here at Winner Circle Training, just go visit us at winnercircletraining.com. If you got value from this video, go ahead and smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know, did you love it, did you hate it? Again, I will see you in the next one. And remember, don't just listen, implement.